Good morning from Los Angeles, California this time. Um, Today is December 22nd. Oh, no. So we are doing another 12 Days of Christmas show to celebrate our new Christmas edition. This time we are going to connect with another whiskey influencer from UK. But first of all, I will be joining in a second. Hello, Spooty. All right.
I'm
Hello,
at home
Michael.
today.
Oh my God. We changed the backgrounds. I love it. Me too.
Yeah,
You won't
okay,
believe.
good.
I just
All well
came
with
last
you?
night, so from the last trip of the
Uh-huh.
year. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
It's a little bit better timing right now. 9 a.m. in the morning instead of 7.
Good,
I'm also
busy
inviting
as
Tori
usual.
right now. All right, how have you been?
Hi, Tori.
Hi,
Nice.
I'm
Tori's
good,
here.
thank
Hi.
you. I've finished work now for Christmas, so
How are you
I
doing
couldn't be
today?
happier.
All right, perfect. So, welcome to our 12 Days of Christmas show. This started as a COVID hobby of mine, just to appreciate Christmas and the upcoming year with one guest in a night. And this year we decided to do that, 12 Days of Christmas, because people are more outgoing and seeing people getting rid of COVID in impacts, though everybody's still sick somehow. So we wanted to share this love with the world instead of only the US. So you are one of our
Yeah,
influencers from the
so my name's
UK. Can
Tori.
you please
I have an
introduce
account,
us yourselves?
whiskey.tea, which is just predominantly me sharing pictures of whiskey and doing reviews and trying different like whiskies and different experiences, really. Started off as a hobby, just to somewhere to share my pictures and sort of taken off from there, really. So.
Just be careful. I also started as a hobby when I was an engineer. Now I'm in a different space. And here is Mr. Michael D'Souza, the Master Distiller of Paul John Indian Single Malt Whiskey, who's going to be joining us and answering any of your
Hi, Tori.
questions. Meanwhile, I'll be just talking over here. Hi, Michael
No,
again.
No.
Did you guys meet before? Oh, all right. Anyway, because like Michael travels a
yeah,
lot, I
yeah.
travel a lot. We meet different whiskey lovers from out the world, and that's generally good. But new face, we love it. And I've been following your work, Tori. It's been
Uh,
so exciting
Over
to
in
meet you
Lancashire,
right now online and hope to
so
see you
sort of
in
near
person. Where do you
Burnley,
live?
up north.
Ah,
Wonderful.
lovely.
Wow.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm in Los Angeles, Michael in Goa right now. So again, 3 different continents
I
meeting on
did. I
Instagram.
had a little
Did
sneak
you have a
around
chance to taste
before
the Christmas
before
yet?
we joined, and yeah,
Ah,
I'm
okay.
really impressed with it.
All right. And anyway, that's what we're gonna talk about. But I will leave it to here. Leave it to Michael here to talk a little bit about what we are doing with Christmas
Yeah, yeah.
edition as usual,
I don't know
just to
whether
give a
Tori
little
ever
understanding
got
of
to
what
taste Paul
Christmas edition
John
of this
expressions
is.
before.
Yeah, so I have tried the Christmas expression. I think it was a couple of years ago. The
Mm-hmm.
2020 bottle. Um,
2020? Okay.
Yeah, and I really like that. It had like all those sort of like Christmas sort of flavors with it, and little smoky notes as well, which was really nice.
So other than Christmas edition, have you ever tasted any other expressions from Paul John?
There was another one that I've tried again a couple of years ago, but I can't really remember what it was. I think it was a PX
Ah, yeah.
version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I got introduced to it from a whiskey shop. Yeah, I think that was the one.
Is it this one?
Going off memory, and it was the first time I'd ever tried it, and they were talking about the maturation period, how it's a lot less. I think it was about 4 years. They were saying. I thought that was really impressive because the way it tasted was a lot deeper than what I'd actually expected from something that matured for just 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, because we are from Goa. You know how the weather is here. Uh, I would I always tell people that in Goa, whiskey matures differently because the weather is warm, it's humid. The interaction is quite rapid. The amount of extraction that we get in 1 year, you have to wait 4 long years in the UK. Yeah, so so we don't have age statement. All of we produce peated and non-peated whiskeys. And out of these two liquids, we produce different expressions. Coming to Christmas edition, again, this tradition started in 2018. 2018.
18.
The Christmas edition always has at least 3 cask finishes. The very first expression I had used unpeated from ex-bourbon, peated from ex-bourbon, and unpeated finished in Oloroso hogshead. 2019, instead of Oloroso, I had used PX. 2020, the one you liked, had Virgin Oak. 2021, I had used port cask finishes. It had Tawny port, vintage port, and Madeira. So this year, again, it is different. I have used unpeated from ex-bourbon, unpeated mature in ex-bourbon, later finished in brandy cask, and peated whiskey, matured in ex-bourbon and finished in Oloroso. So regardless of the vintage, everything tastes Christmassy. On the nose, you have a lot of Christmas cake, plum, then it is citrusy, it is spicy. You have dark chocolate, coffee mocha. You have Manuka honey. It's big on the nose.
Yeah, it's really nice on the nose.
Perfect. So,
I was
Michael,
actually
Michael, where's your
having
glass? And
It
cheers to all of you guys. Well, this is again my breakfast, so 9 a.m. in the morning. Cheers. Well, Tori, when it comes, so this live stream is also about appreciating the passing year and
my
welcoming the new
2022
year.
is
How
just
was your
been
2022?
phenomenal, really. Pretty much early on, I went on some incredible experiences with different distilleries, and it's just been so busy. It's been phenomenal, and it was my first year at the London Whisky Show as well. 2 days just wasn't enough to get all around all the stands, but yeah, it was just amazing. So it's been a really good year for me in whiskey, really.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That's lovely to hear. Hope to see you in London next year. I'll try to be there this time. And we have been talking with Michael about creating a new whiskey requires time, and as we all see you in different years, we taste different expressions. Like my first meeting of Paul John team was in London before I started the job, and if I'm not wrong, I tried this great bottle, Kaan, when Shilton was in charge in London. So we tasted that together. Then I started to work with the brand, and it's really a wonderful experience to see how a brand is growing. And since 2018, I was able to follow every single Christmas edition, and this year's is incredible. I've been loving it as every day. It's not a syndrome since I'm drinking every day, but it's pretty lovely. So I enjoy it. Thank you, Michael, for this whiskey.
Such a nice color on it as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 7-year-old dram. When I say 7, it's equivalent to 20-year-old Scotch whiskey. I'm not talking about the age. I'm talking about the amount of extraction that you get from the cask.
Just asking. I know the answer, but just
because
clarify it. Why aren't
for
you
me,
talking about the age at that point?
for
Why
me, age
it
is just a
not
number.
equal to,
I mean,
20 years old?
the age is not a criteria. What you need is the proof is in the pudding. say, the amount of extraction that you get here is phenomenal. And in India, especially, older is not better because we lose substantial amount of alcohol also. We lose 8%, compared to Scotland where they lose 2 to 3%. So you can imagine after 15 or 20 years what would happen. They would be selling empty casks. So yeah.
Yeah, same goes for Kentucky in US. When you age your bourbon, you don't see a lot of American whiskeys older than 25 years old.
So I
And there's a
understand
reason
because
for that.
Scottish
It gets
whiskies.
too
I
old.
love Scotch whiskies. I love the elegancy that Scotch whiskies have. So unfortunately, we don't have that environment here. But having said that, maturation is all about the extraction. So as long as you get enough extraction, so ages, it doesn't matter how old the whiskey is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Torrie,
oldest whiskey
what was the
I've
oldest
had
and the youngest
is
whiskey you had?
a 56-year-old, and the youngest that I've had, if
Right.
you're not classing new make spirit, is, I think it's a 4-year-old. It was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think to begin with, when I first started off sort of like my
Yeah.
whiskey journey sort of on Instagram, I think I was a little too hooked up on age, thinking, the older the better, like you said. And definitely this year that definitely changed, where I'm a lot more open to non-age statement whiskies, and I find like it's ultimately about the taste for me and not necessarily about the age.
Honestly, this year I was very spoiled at Glenfarclas when I visited there, and they gave me a dram of 68-year-old from the cask. At that point,
Yes.
it is not about the
Absolutely.
taste or whatever. It's about
You're almost
tasting
tasting
the
2
history. So
generations.
that became more important for me. Yeah, but sure, but I've been enjoying a lot of 10
Yeah.
years old Scotch or younger world whiskies, and I've been enjoying Paul John forever, and maybe some Asian whiskies which are younger. So that's all about taste and the taste flavors that you like, you enjoy. I think that's what matters. Okay.
Yeah, no, definitely
So how do you
do
taste?
like
What do you
it.
like?
I like the fact that it's
What do you
got
like?
sort of all these sort of like Christmas sort of flavours in it, but it's still quite vibrant as well. So it's still quite light and sort of fruity. So it's not as heavy as some like other Christmas drams that I've tried, but I really like that about this dram because it makes it that bit different as well.
Yeah, because the peat, not only it is giving the depth, also it is making whiskey more salivating, and also slightly saltier.
It's got quite a like a zing on the tongue as well. It's sort of like almost fizzes in a sort of really nice way, sort of like a lemon sherbet sort of way.
One of the undermined essentials of Paul John is actually the usage of every possible Indian ingredient. Like our barley is Indian, and we try to source everything from India and do everything in India, like from harvesting to bottling, everything happens in India. However, one of the things that we have to import is peat, and sometimes people don't know about it because most of the distilleries are bringing the peated malt and they are making their whiskey. We don't do that. And I would love to Michael to clarify, how do we
I think
import the peat to India and
one
make
of the
our
biggest
whiskey?
challenges, importing peat into India. It's especially since it is a vegetation, it is very, very tough because it goes through a lot of regulations. Having said that, not only it takes a lot of time to reach India, most of the moisture is lost, and we lose the sharpness or the medicinal character that the Isla peat has. In a way, it allows us to produce different types of peated whiskey. It becomes more mellower and allows the other elements to show up. Yeah, we don't, we, yeah, answering
That,
to these questions, we
that's
don't
awesome.
have
So
peat in
we
India.
do
We
the
have to
production
import
only
all
in
the way
winter,
from
right?
Scotland. Yeah, because, yeah, as I said,
And we are
you
doing the
know, summer
production
is
in
too
winter
hot in
time,
India.
if I'm not wrong.
In order to, you know, retain the moisture, we process the peat during the winter.
How much do you import?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah,
recently we have produced close to 500,000 liters, you know, in 6 months. So we are talking about 50 containers.
That's a lot. That's a lot of digging for someone.
that
Yeah,
content is huge,
it is.
huge,
I
huge.
mean, because
Yeah, that peat is a rabbit hole in every aspect. Like the production, the importing, the carry, it just is so interesting. Alrighty. Um, sorry about that. I'm just checking, guys. If you have any questions, our guests online, please write it on the chat to Tori, to Michael. I don't think you have a question for me. You have been seeing my face forever now. So if you have any questions to Michael or Tori, please write it down. We'll try to answer that. And yeah, so, and another thing is the oak barrels, of course. And Tori at Paul John Whiskey, we are using different kinds, predominantly American oak. And with some of our whiskey, as in Christmas edition, is a perfect example of that. We try to use different barrels. And I am excited to ask you one question. What kind of barrels do you really
Is
like
that
to
to
drink,
myself?
experience?
Yeah. I think originally I was
Yeah,
very much
yeah, to you.
sherry head, but sort of this year I've been really sort of interested in the port finishes, like the tawny port, the
mhm.
white port, and I found a lot of distilleries have been using port that I've really enjoyed tasting, and I quite like some of the experimental ones like the tequila as well. But yeah, it's predominantly port has been my favourite this year.
Okay, 21. Yeah.
We had a port last year with the Christmas edition 2021.
That sounds
Vintage
amazing.
port, Tony,
Mhm.
and Madeira were the finishings. Michael, there's a question.
Precursor
Oral
to the
Demon,
next zodiac
Michael,
series. So
the
what can we
Christmas
expect?
edition is
Oh,
always a
it's
precursor to the
too
next
early
zodiac.
actually. The Mithuna is doing extremely well, so we are going slow on the next release. But we haven't decided. Hopefully by mid 2023 we should come up with something.
All right,
I
that
have a
was a question I
question.
was
So, is
receiving a
there a
lot, so
particular
thanks for
sort of
clarifying
cask
that.
finish that
And
Paul John takes particularly well, maybe better than other casks?
Yeah, because we have close to 25,000 casks. Out of 25,000, 90% of the inventory is ex-bourbon. So if, for us, as per the Indian climatic condition, ex-bourbon is much safer, and you can age the whiskey much longer. Yeah, I mean, I think ex-bourbon is the best option. For the rest of the casks, we just use for the finishes, and for example, PX, it is aged for finished for 18 to 20 months. So you can see the amount of extraction that that whiskey has got. It is like coffee syrup.
Hemant
And
NYC. Michael, could you please
Kanya
tell me more
is
about Kanya?
the first of the Zodiac series. Kanya is for Virgo. So Kanya is a 7-year-old whiskey, mature and ex-bourbon cask. It's a first fill. We have different warehouses. One of the warehouses underground. The rest are above the ground level. So Kanya is from the underground cellar. From the underground cellar, we get more elegant and easy drinkable whiskies. So Virgo is it's Kanya is women in India. It is soft, it is smoother, silky, sweet, chocolatey. So that is the characteristic of Kanya.
It was a brilliant whiskey, to be honest. I would love to say that. And one of the questions that I've received, Michael, in the last few days, was from New York, was from
I
Drams
know,
Club,
I
because
know.
we
Yeah,
released a
yeah.
single cask for them, which was a second fill bourbon, ex-bourbon barrel, you know that, and it was fantastic. So one of the friends asked us, like, this is fantastic. Are we going to be
Olive Ocean of
seeing an older
Kanya.
version of this?
Yeah, I mean, we have, you will not believe, we have a
Second fill
13-year-old whiskey
ex-bourbon,
now,
not
and
bad.
it is delicious.
All
So
right.
hopefully we should be coming out with some special release. May not be the Zodiac series, it will be something special. Um, and yeah, we are, I mean, we are experimenting different casks now since the time Sazerac has come in. I'm finishing Old Paul John in Pappy Van Winkle casks and 17-year-old Eagles Rare. So yeah,
Awesome.
so some Weller casks.
Oh, that's a beautiful.
So it is very, very interesting.
I can see the smile on your face. Sorry about that. So again, another thing, Tori, I don't know how well you're integrated with Indian whiskey and the humidity and like the climatic conditions in India. But when I was there back in 2019 before COVID, good old days, I actually was able to taste a lot of whiskeys out there. But some of them reminded me, like especially the younger ones, remind me a lot of the Scotch whiskies that we are able to taste. But the older it got, the flavors that make Paul John interesting that comes into the place. And one of the concepts is the barley. Can you taste anything different when you taste Scotch and
Um,
Paul John together in means of the
I mean,
mouthfeel?
it sort of depends on the whiskey that you're drinking. There's so much Scotch out there. I mean, there is a slight
Mm-hmm.
difference, but I don't know if that's more of the vibrancy that I can taste. But I think in some ways it's got that
Mm-hmm.
that texture. There's nothing different to it that would stand out that you would think that it wouldn't stand up against a Scotch.
Awesome. That's we because we are both from different countries and you are stated there, you have more
Yeah,
opportunity to
because
taste it,
I think
and
most of
that's
the
what I wanted to
Scotch
ask
whiskeys
to
has
you.
that sherry influence.
And,
Nowadays, most of the whiskeys tend to, taste big. Yeah, it depends, what kind of whiskey you like. My palate is more towards ex-bourbon cask. I love ex-bourbon finished whiskeys, uh, but I think most of the people like the sherry finish.
Yeah, I like whiskey that is able to sort of hold in the palate, and this definitely does. The whiskies that sort of tends to sort of wash over and have that wishy-washy sort of feel doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah.
So it's nice when you can feel it in the mouth, and this definitely does it for me.
mhm.
So now today,
We have great
uh,
people here. The Malt
actually, tomorrow
whiskey
Dhaval
blender
Gandhi
dude.
is visiting
Nice
the distillery. I
to
mean,
see you.
he's from Lake Distilleries.
Oh,
Oh right,
wow.
okay, so
That's
that's quite
interesting.
near me actually.
Yep, and I,
Yeah.
I actually have some of
So
the
he's
Lake's
in
bottles
Goa.
right up there, and
So
a little bit
what do you
concerned
think
that how
about
he's doing actually.
Lake?
Yeah, I really like it. I think the distillery itself is absolutely beautiful. The
Hmm.
setting is stunning. I think what they're doing is really nice, and quite different as well. They have quite a different range through. Um, so yeah, what I've tried is lovely, and they do a lot of gin as well, which I think you guys have started, haven't you?
Correct. We have started gin. Yes.
What kind of Yeah,
I think
yeah, I think
late
a lot
started
of
with gin and
sort of
went to
distilleries
whiskey.
start
We
off
did
with
the
the gin,
opposite.
don't they? Because it takes so long to mature the whiskey. So I think that's probably their
Absolutely.
money
Yeah,
maker.
yeah, yeah.
So one question from Anand. Hi, Michael. If Paul John has to set up a new distillery, which
I
location would you
mean,
prefer
whiskey
in
can be
India, apart
made
from
anywhere.
Goa and the
You know,
extreme north?
what we have to understand is whiskey will have its own regional characteristics. So if Paul John is made somewhere else, it would taste differently. So depends what kind of area it is. If it is somewhere down south where the weather is cooler and drier, maybe it might taste like Amrut. If it is somewhere up north where the weather is, during the winter it is extremely cold, summer is extremely hot, maybe the whiskey would taste something like Rampur. Uh, Depends. So which part of India you are going to set up your distillery. Um, it's not only the environment, the type of pot stills, the way in which the entire process is carried out. It depends. Uh, I would prefer somewhere in a colder region because, as I said, this is one of the reasons I love Scotch whiskies. Scotch whiskies, because of the climatic condition, becomes more elegant, uh, uh, very floral. So I would set up the distillery somewhere where the weather is cooler.
Do you think it's more challenging as a master distiller to be working in a hotter climate with a faster maturation period?
Definitely, yes. Because in Goa, whiskey changes every day. See, for example, in Scotland, you have at least 10 to 12 years to decide what kind of whiskey you want to create. But here, within no time, your whiskey is ready. It has to be bottled. Again, there are two cons here. One is the evaporation. The other one is whiskey getting more woodier. When it gets woodier, it becomes undrinkable. So you have to decide faster. So absolutely, you don't have time. This is one of the reasons we have 12 different expressions.
Tell me about that. Ah, that's perfect. Well, you have to definitely catch us. Sorry,
Yeah.
with the 12 expressions, we have to send you some more to experience and see, find your Paul John palette probably. Um, Tori, there's one part of the show that I have to ask, and because I have been asking everyone, every single one on this show for the last
Um,
3 years,
well,
what is your
last
wish
year
for
I
Christmas
had
and New Year?
COVID, so I had to self-isolate. I missed out on all the family, so events and seeing friends. So my one wish is to be with my family and friends this Christmas and New Year.
Uh,
Awesome. And Michael, since this is the last time I'm
Oh,
seeing
wow.
you,
I mean,
probably what's your
yeah,
wish?
it's been actually, I mean, not a surprise because we have been doing this chat show from the past couple of years, couple of days. I think everybody's wish is to stay healthy and safe. Yeah, same here. Especially me being a blender, I have to preserve my palate. I have to be safe and yeah. So I think I love to travel though. So I want to travel and be safe.
Oh, good luck with that. I've been trying that. That happens all the time, but yeah, health is of course the most important thing that we will have. Honestly, on my end, um, health is really important. I would love to have that. I traveled a lot lately, and you come across sickness, but at the same time, we are gonna enjoy it with family, like Tori is going to do. And it's always important to have good company around you. So I wish everyone in the world a good company with them throughout the year and the future, of course. And you can treat that here. Perfect.
No
Well,
questions.
Torrie, do you have any more
Well,
questions?
thank you very much for this, because this is fantastic. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Pleasure to have you in the show. And also, thank you
We're
very
glad
much
that
for
you enjoyed,
joining
Michael.
in.
And
Next time, maybe we can meet in Goa.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
So yeah. So look forward to
let's
seeing
arrange a
you.
media trip. All right. Thank you very much to both of you for joining me here and joining Paul John Whisky. Happy Christmas, happy holidays, everyone. If I don't see you,
Yeah, why
again,
not? Yeah.
I don't know, Michael. Are you gonna do one more?
I don't know. I mean, I hope
Okay,
we see
cheers to
again
you all.
tomorrow. I don't know.
Take care.
Anyways, sorry. I wish you Merry Christmas in advance.
I will.
Again, stay safe. Enjoy your holidays.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Take care. Love it.
Bye.
Bye.